Hello and welcome to Scott's Gym. Today we have an awesome matchup between the St. Christopher Saints and the John Marshall Justices. This should be a great game. It's pretty well anticipated now. We've been here for 30 minutes past when we thought, but here we're going to have Gibson Beck for the Saints going to take this tip off. And the Saints are going to recover it. Gray Dion driving in, goes up for the two, and Emmanuel Moore puts that one in the basket for two.
Great start for the Saints there.
And Gray Dion with the awesome defense tips that one out of bounds, but it's going to stay with the Justices. Before this match, the Saints are 2-0, looking to get to 3-0. And Gray Dion once again gets that ball out of bounds, but number 24 for the Justices is going to inbound this one. Gets it to number 12. And Emmanuel Moore once again tips it out. Great defense from the Saints so far. Emmanuel Moore tips it off, and he's running down court. Emmanuel Moore goes up for two.
What a great play by the Saints there. Broke away, put two on the board.
I love this high-pressure defense from the Saints. Some trouble there for 24. Moore gets it, goes up for two, and that puts the Saints up 6-0.
That was just incredible.
Claude Whitehead trying to poke that ball out. The parents want a double dribble there, but the refs aren't going to give it to him. And Roman Boyd will. Excuse me, we're having some technical difficulties here. We'll be right back after we fix this. And we are back. Sorry about that. Little trouble with the camera work. Claude Whitehead at the top of the key, driving in. Whitehead will pull up. Splash for Claude Whitehead.
John Marshall needs something to get this to stop this St. Chris momentum.
I mean, John Marshall didn't have much time to warm up, and they're coming into this game sort of blind, so John Marshall's going to have to work up, and now there's going to be a foul called on John Marshall. Moore got tripped up in that one.
I believe that might have been a charge on John Marshall.
Beck will inbound this one, gets it to Moore. Kicks it to Whitehead. Gets it to Beck in the middle. Beck goes up and gets fouled for the and one. Excuse me, they're just going to call that foul back. And now Justice has inbounded it. And welcome back, as now we welcome Claiborne Hall onto the call.
Good to be here. St. Chris off to an early lead, a really strong JV team this year for them. Roman Boyd guarding tightly, three-point attempt no good. And the Saints caught up now in the half court, but now they're looking to run. Roman Boyd, the second chance, can't get it. Another rebound for the Saints. Another rebound for the Saints, and they can't get him to go. I believe that was 5 rebounds for St. Chris. No bucket to show for it. Stolen away by Whitehead, though. And St. Chris out and running, an easy two for the Saints.
Momentum with the Saints here, up 10-0.
Yeah, a big start for St. Chris. And John Marshall will call time. St. Chris looking very strong. We'll be right back. Out of the timeout, John Marshall still looking to get their first points of the game. As an inbound, goes a little off. John Marshall will retain possession, though, in the corner. Another errant pass for the Marshalls recovered. John Marshall looking to get inside right now. They'll settle for an elbow jumper. Couldn't get the shot off. Great defense from Whitehead. It'll be John Marshall ball on a jump ball call. So the possession arrow will now switch over to St. Chris, but John Marshall will retain possession. Substitution for the Saints, Jeremiah Stone and Henry Peace in, and Woods Tolliver for Gibson, Beck, Claude, Whitehead, and Roman Boyd.
Ref's giving Mr. Britton some trouble here.
Yeah, a little confusion with the possession arrow on that one. And that one tipped. Last touch by the Marshalls. Good defense from Jeremiah Stone there. St. Christopher's will get possession back. Quick press defense, though, from the Marshalls, looking to create a turnover, and they almost do. They got to get it over the midcourt, and that is a little too handsy there from John Marshall. Foul called on number 12 for the Marshalls. Henry Peace will drive, goes up through some contact, can't get it. Woods Tolliver, though. He is there for a putback, and St. Chris extending this early lead.
Woods Tolliver, an exceptional player, and only in 8th grade.
Yeah, he's one of those young, promising players for the Saints. He has made a big difference already this year. And a moving screen on John Marshall. They can't get anything to go right now, offensively or defensively. Peace looks inside to Tolliver. He'll shoot it from about the elbow and gets it to go. 4 early points for Tolliver. St. Chris a commanding first quarter lead now. John Marshall's got to get across midcourt. Stolen away by Dion. And he'll run it for an easy 2. St. Chris now up to a 16-point lead.
Saints are just destroying them on the defensive side. Nothing John Marshall can do. As once again.
And Gray Dion reaching in there. St. Chris had him in a trap just across the midcourt line. John Marshall bailed out there.
So now Boyd will come in for Moore and Whitehead will come in for Dion.
Whitehead with a steal, looking to run. And another transition bucket for the Saints. St. Chris going very tightly on the full court early on now. 3-point look for the Marshals. He can't get it to go. The layup will not be good either. Rebound tipped around to Roman Boyd, and the Saints are going to run again. Now Peace for three. Can't get it to go. Woods Tolliver with a strong rebound. He'll go up and fouled pretty hard from behind. Maybe 2 shots for Woods Tolliver. A chance to, in the first quarter, extend this to a 20-0 lead.
It's quite exceptional to see how much this team has advanced from last year being on the freshman team. This seems like a whole new team.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you have a lot of freshmen on this team looking to put in a lot of minutes. Jeremiah Stone, Claude Whitehead, Roman Boyd, James Carney, Gibson Beck. I mean, the list goes on. And then the 8th grade presence is unbelievably high. Obviously, you have Emmanuel Moore. You also have Jeremiah Stone as another one of those freshmen, and Woods Tolliver as another one of those 8th graders. Boyd with the steal. Loses dribble, but gets it back. Looks for a floater. And a 22-0 lead for the Saints.
Way to recover from Roman Boyd there.
John Marshall will run in transition now. A good look for the Marshals. They can't get it to go. Rebound to Tolliver again. Full court pass to Whitehead. He'll make a move.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it is the first quarter, and this is getting outrageous. They've got to get this ball across the half-court line quick now. Great defense from Stone. What a move, but stolen away by Stone. And he couldn't get his feet set when he got the ball. It'll be a travel right back to John Marshall. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. St. Chris is looking like an unstoppable force right now. John Marshall inbounds to the near corner. Good ball movement from the Marshals. Back to the corner. Hesitates on a 3-point look and never got that pivot foot.
Nothing is going for John Marshall here.
Yeah, just fundamentally not in it right now. St. Chris has been very clean. John Marshall has not, and that'll be a travel call on the Saints. Refs are being very tight with the walk calls tonight. And Coach Vick will call an adjustment, and the Saints will instantly drop back out of their full court press. Looking like a new zone look now from St. Chris. See the 5th man rotating in on the paint. What a shot! And the first quarter shutout is ruined on an absolute heave of a shot. John Marshall trails 24-3. We'll be right back for the second quarter.
We welcome you back to the second quarter. Saints leading by 21, and Moore will inbound this one.
Yeah, a completely different look now for the Saints. As ball movement, though, still a key as Moore will fire from deep. Can't get it to go. Rebound will go to the Saints. It's Carney inside, puts up a second look. Can't get it, gets his own rebound, though, and is fouled. Underneath that one, though, will be on the floor. As a push on number 21 for John Marshall. The Saints will inbound it under the basket now. Substitution for the Marshalls now as number 10 will let number 23 get a breather. Look inside to McGuire. Can't get it. Another rebound to Carney, though. Another hard foul under the basket. That one on number 10 for John Marshall. Will send Jackson McGuire, the sophomore, to the line for 2 shots. Off the mark on the first one. In and out. It's a tough bounce for him. One more shot to look to extend the Saints' lead back to 22 points. And it's good off the glass. St. Chris leads 25-3. About a minute in to the second quarter. And Moore with a steal, looking in transition for an easy 2, and St. Chris will get back to their largest lead of the night at 24.
Moore is just such a fundamental player for this team.
He is. He's quick off his back foot, too, which is huge. St. Chris causing a lot of chaos for John Marshall's offense, and now it'll be another jump ball, the possession arrow. After the jump ball in the first quarter will go to St. Chris, I believe. They will be giving it to John Marshall, though, it appears. Excuse me, the possession arrow switched with the quarter, so it will be John Marshall ball. They're trapped in the far corner and now looking to drive in, though. Another rebound to the Saints, and up court quick to George Jones. He'll be fouled on his way up. Met with a convoy of Saints to help him up. The first shot at the line is good for George Jones.
George, just being a freshman, has such a bright future at St. Chris, and especially in this basketball program.
Yeah, little brother of Saints legend Wally Jones. Good ball movement from the Saints. McGuire will look to drive inside, but he'll kick it back out to Dion. Across the court, another good pass. Jones in the corner. Can't get it. A good rebound underneath by Lohr. He can't get it, though, and Carney on a putback opportunity will be fouled. He will have 2 shots for St. Chris. Absolutely dominating the glass right now. No good on the first, off the back iron. A substitution for the Marshalls now. McGuire with the rebound on the no-good free throw attempt. He'll kick it out to Lohr. I mean, the ball movement imperative as Dion gets a look at another rebound for the Saints. And that will be another jump ball. This time the possession arrow will go to St. Christopher's, as Lohr will look to bring it out for the Saints. He'll look outside the arc to Dion on the inbound. That'll be a travel on Lohr. And back to the Marshals it goes. They face a 25-point deficit with 5 to go in the second quarter. The Saints will stick to their zone defense look. Making every pass difficult, as you see there. Jones able to knock it out of bounds. It will stay with the Marshals. And a little confusion there. The refs thought St. Chris would have a substitution coming in. They do not. Great ball pressure from the Saints, but somehow John Marshall is able to keep possession. Tipped away by Carney, but another scrum won by John Marshall and an easy bucket in succession. McGuire in the corner now. He'll step back, take a long two. Can't get it to go. Rebound to George Jones underneath. This one a three-point look for McGuire. Can't get that one to go either. And another offensive rebound for the Saints. Dion will step back now. Can't get that one to go. Tipped in to stay alive by John Marshall. And that one will be a travel. Fell down with possession of the ball. And a big substitution coming for the Saints. The Saints will see Graham Winters, Claude Whitehead, Matthew Hingst, and Connor Lacey to the floor when we are back from this timeout. Fresh out of the timeout, St. Chris holds a 23-point lead with about half to go in the second quarter. John Marshall switched to a full-court press look. But a deep pass to Graham Winters will get the Saints out of trouble. He'll look to drive now. Puts up a floater, and he is fouled on his way up. There'll be 2 more shots at the line for the Saints. These ones coming for Graham Winters.
With that last timeout, some new faces came to the court, such as Winters, Connor Lacey, and Matthew Hingst.
Yeah, big group substitution for the Saints came out of that timeout. You can get the first to go, but not the second. And Lacey did not disengage in time. Maybe a foul. A reach in on Connor Lacey. That will be St. Chris' first foul of the quarter, and it'll be Lacey's first as well. Number 4 for the Marshals, bringing it up. St. Chris still making no pass easy, and that one, a miscommunication from the Marshals. We'll see another turnover.
Marshall's only had about 2 minutes to warm up for this match, so that's definitely playing a role in this.
Yeah, St. Chris has been well warm all night as Matthew Hingst gets his first bucket of the night. A 26-point St. Christopher's lead right now. And stolen away by Lohr. Winters will recover. And the pass tipped away out of bounds off John Marshall. Great defensive hustle there from number 12 on John Marshall. Lohr. He'll look for a shot. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by John Marshall, but quickly turned over out of bounds, and St. Chris will retain possession in their own end. And a substitution coming for the Marshalls. Number 0, 11, and 23 will enter play. Number 2, number 10, and number 24 will get some rest. John Marshall, good tight defense off the inbound, but inbound past to Whitehead, who will travel, and another unforced turnover for the Saints.
John Marshall starting to push back against St. Chris a little bit, limiting the deficit.
Yeah, they seemed a little shaken in that first quarter, but starting to gain their footing now as play moves on toward the end of the first half. And a 3-second violation on John Marshall. Unforced turnovers has got to be the story tonight for both teams. A multitude of unforced errors for both the Saints and the Marshalls. Lacey will kick the corner where Driscoll will look to drive. He'll put up a floater, and Lee Driscoll gets on the board for the Saints. Now a 28-point lead.
Lee Driscoll, what a player.
Another turnover. That one sparked by Matthew Hengst. Winners. A quick transition, easy layup for him. And St. Chris now a 30-point lead. And we are just in the first half of play. And transition points and points off turnovers have been huge for the Saints tonight. Seemingly every other basket coming in transition. Winters will look to drive, loses his dribble, and will be out of bounds back to John Marshall.
Just for reference, last year the JV team lost this match by 30, so this is a huge turnaround for this program.
Yeah, this is a much different St. Chris team we're looking at this year. Driscoll with the steal in transition. An easy layup for Lee Driscoll. The Saints re-extend their lead back to 30. Tipped away that time by Lacey off the fingertips of John Marshall. And the Saints with another turnover. John Marshall again looking to pressure the ball at about the midcourt line. Winners will break the press, though, and kick it to Driscoll. Driscoll finds Lacey with the help. And a driving layup for Connor Lacey. And the team very into that one. St. Chris is firing on all cylinders right now, a 32-point lead. Nearly a head ball violation, but a last-second pass gets John Marshall out of what could have been another unforced turnover. And no backcourt call. The other say it's off the fingertips of Winters. Stolen away by Lacey. With the seconds ticking away, he will be sent to the free throw line. 2 shots coming now for Connor Lacey to potentially extend the first half lead to 34 points. It has been all St. Chris through 2 quarters of play. No good on the first. Still one more for him.
Just 7.5 seconds left to play in this first half after this.
No good on both, but another rebound for the Saints. Lacey will kick to Driscoll. He'll put up a last-second shot. Gets it to go, and the horn sounds as St. Chris heads into the locker room feeling great. 41-7 your score, and a reminder heading into the half. Scheduled for 7 o'clock. However, could very easily start later. St. Christopher's varsity basketball takes on the John Marshall Justices here in Scott Gym. We will be back in 10 minutes for the second half of play. Back now for the start of the action in the third quarter. John Marshall will be inbounding it at about half court on the far sideline. Quick look for a three for John Marshall. They can't get it to go, leave it short. Scrum for the rebound, won by the Marshalls. And a good poke from a whole herd of Saints on the inside. Sees it out of bounds to St. Christopher's again. Coming out the gates, obviously, the first half, St. Chris was able to force turnovers whenever they felt like it, and looking like that's going to be a theme again in the second half. Dion will look for a basket. Tight defense forces him to kick it out to the corner where Beck will drive. Can't get it to go, though. And an early jump ball in this second half. We'll see possession back to the Saints. Quick look inside to Beck off the inbound. He can't get it to go, though. And that one will be out of bounds off John Marshall, knocked away out of the hands of Emmanuel Moore.
We haven't seen much from Beck tonight, which is pretty unusual for him.
Yeah, you tend to see less of those kind of guys as Beck, speak of the devil, goes in and gets an easy two for the Saints. But you tend to see less of those guys who will start the game and get the more minutes on the team in a close game when you're up like St. Chris is right now. They want to get everyone some experience down the road. You never know what could happen in a season, so it is of utmost importance to the coaches to make sure everyone sees the floor. Blocked by Dion that time. And Moore will steal it away, but John Marshall will recover, and an errant pass will give another unforced turnover for the Marshalls and ball back to St. Chris.
I was talking to Gray Dion earlier about this game, and he didn't know the outcome of this, and he looked like he was expecting a harder match, but this is outrageous.
This is as Dion gets to the bucket that time, and now a 38-point lead. St. Chris. And as I said in the first half, just looking like an unstoppable force right now. I mean, barring a miracle, this game is already over. And a tough bucket for the Marshalls. Number 24 on John Marshall will score those. 2 points for the Marshalls. And Emmanuel Moore will get two more. And excuse me, I realize I've been saying the Marshalls all night. It's John Marshall Justices, obviously. That's my bad. And the scrum will be stolen away by Moore. And another, no, not another easy two for the Saints, but Whitehead will fade away and get two more to go.
Despite that hiccup, Moore has been a standout player for the Saints tonight.
Yeah, everyone has their off-the-mark shot every now and then. That one, just got to hope that doesn't get to his confidence levels. St. Chris obviously up by 40, so not much to worry about. And there's Moore almost creating another turnover on the defensive end for the Saints. Gets right back, and St. Chris in the second half early on has already switched out of that zone look that they were showing to end the first half, back into their man and more of a press defense. A timeout for the Saints. Looks like Coach Vic there just wants to call a quick timeout to get subs in now. And that is exactly what will happen. As John Marshall is anticipating a full timeout. It looks like they're going to give it to him. So we will be back in about 40 seconds. Timeout St. Christopher's, a full court substitution for the Saints. Out of the timeout now. St. Chris will look to inbound it, and Braden Lohr will bring it up for the Saints. One of the craftiest players St. Chris has to offer is Lohr. And another jump ball. Woods Tolliver saying that one's on me. A nice look underneath. Not capitalized on by the Saints. Number 4 bringing up for the Marshals, or for the Justices, excuse me, and Woods Tolliver just getting a little antsy now. Got to rein it in. 38-point lead. Not something that you want to, not something that if you're St. Chris, you want to let go easy. You want this to be a commanding and impressive win, especially with the way it has gone. John Marshall, a kick out. The pass could not be held on to. And the Justices with another unforced turnover. Lohr to bring it up again for the Saints now. And St. Chris looking for a much more settled offense as McGuire makes a move inside and gets a good 2. Jackson McGuire.
The Saints are not taking the foot off the gas just yet.
Yeah, nice little carryover from McGuire as a 3-point attempt will go off the glass. A strong rebound for the Justices. Another 3-point look now, and that one is cashed in on. A 37-point St. Christopher's lead, but a quick turnover, and John Marshall looking to run. Look, this second half, they are looking much more like the team that St. Chris expected to play than what they got in the first half, and that probably is, like you said, due to the lack of warm-ups, but John Marshall of all schools knows the game, like basketball, you cannot make excuses. You just got to keep playing. There's the clock. Now will keep running. St. Chris has reached the point in the game with a 35-point lead that a running clock has been implemented. Now look underneath to Tolliver. That's a good block from John Marshall. Ooh, getting a little physical underneath there. Henry Peace stands up for the Saints and says that was not intentional, and the refs will let him play as a jump ball will go to St. Christopher's. Good defense underneath now. Tolliver will have to try to go up through contact, and a foul called as Woods Tolliver will head back to the free throw line for the Saints. A big and promising young player for the Saints is Woods. He is very fundamentally sound. As he gets that first free throw to go, St. Chris extends their lead back to 36 now.
Not very often do you see an 8th grader playing on the JV squad.
No, you do not. Stone up through contact, and he'll get a foul called as well. They will let this clock run off a little more, and now 21.7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. St. Christopher's looking in the upcoming fourth quarter just to cruise to a very dominant victory today. Stone off the mark on the first free throw. He will have one more coming up now. Off the mark on both. And Woods with a tough rebound. Gets it up, can't get it to go though. A scrum for the rebound. John Marshall, good save that time from the Justices. Transition 3 look for the Justices, no good. And McGuire will chase down that rebound. St. Chris, even this up big, we're telling them to push. As Peace will look to get up a shot, can't. And that will do it for the third quarter of action. Fourth quarter of action opening now for St. Chris as the Saints will see Matthew Hengst, Graham Winters, Connor Lacey, George Jones out to the floor now. He'll be joined by sophomore number 23, Logan Riley. A man defense look to start the fourth from the Saints. Good help defense showing from Hengst as Jones is able to force a turnover nearly. Spoke too soon, out of bounds off of Jones, and it will be Justice's ball. And Hengst overreaches, creates a driving opportunity for John Marshall, and then doubles down on it with a foul.
Hinks looks a little shooken up after that one.
Yeah, I don't think he anticipated the collision that ensued to be that large, as they will call it a shooting foul. John Marshall will go to the line with a look for two. These free throws could cut the St. Chris lead down to 34 as the first one is off the mark.
I have to give some props to Coach Vic and managers Zach Birch and Grayson Wilborn. They've been doing an awesome job. I've been watching them.
Yeah, they really have. In all aspects, this team for St. Chris is just, you really don't see anything sloppy on the bench and the coaching and any sort of play. Very consistent. Now it will be knocked away. They'll give it to John Marshall there. A little confusion as I don't even think John Marshall thought that was their ball, but the Justices will force another turnover. Great job by both teams tonight, I will say. No matter what the score says, both these teams defensively have been aggressive and have taken advantage of the opportunities they have been given. Jones will look ahead to Driscoll. Driscoll look across the court as Winters can't handle the errant pass. John Marshall forced to slow down their possession now. St. Chris spacing their defense very much as a three-point look comes for the Justices. Can't get it to go off the glass. Driscoll looks to push. We'll give it to Jones. Jones will drive now and up through contact. Can't get it to go, but he will draw a foul. And with just over 4 minutes to play now in this final period of action, St. Chris a 35-point lead still. And Jones at the line to extend it. No good on the first, left it just shy. And a major group substitution coming for the Saints. Carney, Lohr, and Riley will come in. Lacey, Winters, and Hengst will see to the bench probably for the night. Those guys put in some big minutes for the Saints every night, and tonight I think Coach Vic and Coach Britton are going to want the guys who don't see that kind of playing time to get their look, get a chance to prove themselves and see some great action as Jackson McGuire will come in for George Jones for the Saints. Quick look underneath McGuire. He'll kick it out to Lohr. We'll give it back to McGuire. Some great ball movement from the Saints. McGuire able to save his own near turnover, and Riley couldn't keep his feet down on a pump fake pass.
Back to your point, the Saints have been doing an awesome job of ball movement all night.
Yeah, they really have. Every possession has started with like 5 or so passes, and those have all been nearly instant as well. And a look underneath, stolen away by Carney. James Carney looking to push. He'll go up for a finger roll, can't get it to fall though. St. Chris will put a little pressure on. John Marshall escapes and runs. And now a sticky situation up top. Bailed out, number 24 for John Marshall, able to get open. Good defense by Kearney, nearly forcing a turnover. 2.5 minutes to go in what has been a night that these Saints will remember. A high-scoring, fun one for them. McGuire will push, give it to Driscoll. And Driscoll will be tripped, and as the students start to flow in for the upcoming varsity game between the Justices and Saints, the fans not with a great reaction to that one. The clock, obviously, still a running clock. Winners will pull up for a medium range 2, can't get it to go, and John Marshall will recover the board. Justice is looking to run now, slowed down from some tight defense from the Saints. Tipped away off the glass. It'll be another turnover for St. Chris, and a quick transition layup for Logan Riley. As mentioned, that varsity game still on schedule for 7 o'clock tonight.
Should be very exciting. Quite a heated rivalry almost at this point.
Yeah, it has become a yearly meeting between St. Chris and John Marshall. And Lohr in transition can't get to go. The JV game has been all St. Chris tonight, but two very, very good teams will face off on Scott Gym. And roughly, well, technically a minute, but that one will probably tip off around 7:15 or so. Coverage will begin as soon as we are done with this game. As the last seconds tick away, St. Chris. I mean, we cannot say it enough. This has been nothing short of an outstanding win for the Saints. Off the knee of the Justices, it will be St. Chris ball. Just mere seconds remaining as St. Chris will just cross the midcourt line and look to run this clock out. But John Marshall will not lay off with the pressure inside to Kearney, and he will be fouled. Interesting to see if they'll get free throws here. Oh, they will. They'll stop the clock. 1.7. And the refs will call that one. Your final tonight, 54-17. A commanding win for the Saints. Join us right after this as the varsity squads between St. Christopher's and the John Marshall Justices look to face off in a highly anticipated matchup of two powerhouse squads. Thank you for joining us. I'm Claiborne Hall, joined by Elliot Palumbi. Have a nice night.